What's up, YouTube? I talk about manhood, I talk about masculinity, I talk about what they call game, right? Dating from the perspective of manhood. And the purpose to all of this, the purpose to all of this philosophy is to make sure that men understand what the main goal is whenever they're dealing with anything in life, whether it's women, whether they're dealing with friendships, whether they're on the job, whether they're dealing with anything in life, money, right? Whenever some type of temptation crosses their paths where they're trying to achieve a goal and they're about to hit their goal, whenever you're in the pursuit of something, you got to always make sure that you're not deviating outside of yourself to get that thing, right? We got to always make sure that we're not sacrificing the man. We're not sacrificing what Miles Cunningham says, your identity, right? Always stay true to who you are in the face of everything, right? So you can't be bought just because somebody's offering you money and you want money, right? Because one of our goals as men is to get money, is to get paid, whether that's to build a business, whether that's for you to just have a job and pay bills, right? Or whatever the case. You're not going to deviate outside of what you know is right for you, outside of your principles, your standards, your code, in order to get that money. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of time, or just, like I said, anything, a job, friendships, a woman, sex, no matter what that goal is, where dudes might want to sacrifice their manhood to get, right? They might want to sell themselves in order to attain that thing. The goal of manhood is to always make sure that you understand where the gold is, right? Where the prize is, and that's your manhood in the face of everything, right? I don't give a fuck if you're looking for, like I said, money, a job, the respect of other people, right? A lot of times people sacrifice who they are in order to get accepted. That's another thing people might want to sacrifice their manhood over. The goal on this earth as a man, among many goals, the main goal is to always make sure that you're staying true to that essence, right? Who you are is more important than any amount of money, any amount of pussy, any amount of respect or admiration you get from other people, right? There's an old saying. They say, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. A lot of times men would be flexible with who they are in order to get these goals. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have these goals, but what I'm saying is you need to never lose sight of the thing that's most important. So in the pursuit of money, in the pursuit of a woman, right? A lot of guys will do this with women, especially. For some reason, this is the Achilles heel of a lot of men, which is why we talk about women here a lot. But a dude will be a man in every other aspect of life except for when it comes to a woman. But whatever it is, money, friendships, right? Fame, the acceptance of other people. A lot of men in the pursuit of these things, they'll be enticed to sacrifice who they are and come outside of what they know is right for them and their own principles and morals in order to get that thing. And that's where you fuck up as a man. This is why I say, having knowledge of self is important, because that's where it begins. That's where you begin to understand where the line is, the things you'll do and won't do in order to get what you got to get, especially when it comes to a woman, right? Because the relationship between a man and a woman is, a man is a leader and the women are our helpmates. So there really don't need to be any type of sacrificing of your manhood for a woman at all. Not for anything, but especially not for a woman, because in the eyes of a woman, she'll lose respect for you if she sees that. And she'll enter the relationship with a man that she has no respect for because you check other boxes. So that's going to lead to ruin, right? That fucks your whole legacy up. You have kids with this woman. She don't respect you. Next thing you know, your kids are growing up fucked up because you don't have any influence in your household. And it just trickles down from that weakness. This is why I say what I say when it comes to stepping to a woman. You got to always make sure that she's following your lead. You got to always make sure that she fits you and you're not coming outside of yourself for the woman. One example would be if you say you want to do something like, yo, listen, this is the way I do things, right? You got to come to me. I just met you. You got to come meet me over here. And she's like, nah, I don't want to go over there. That place I don't like. I want to do this. You got to let that girl go. because she's showing you from the get-go that she don't like how you do things. Something as simple as meet me over here, right? Years later into the relationship, she ain't gonna respect you on the big things. She can't even follow your lead on the small things. This is an example of you coming outside of yourself, right? This would be an example of you sacrificing who you are just to get the woman. If you decide, okay, we could do what you want, which is what a lot of guys do. A lot of guys would be like, okay, well, where do you want to go? And then she'll be like, oh, I want to go over here. And because he wants pussy, because he's tender in the zipper, right? He's a simp. He's going to be like, okay, and he's going to go where the chick wants. This is a failure as a man. You failed yourself, right? And as a man, like I said, it trickles down from us. So if you fail yourself, you fail your kids, you fail your legacy, you fail your bloodline, your last name. You fail everybody around you when you make yourself weaker in order to get money, in order to get pussy, in order to get the admiration and respect of other people. You fail everybody because you sacrifice the man. That's where your power is. You understand? We could move mountains with who we are and our identity, right? So, wrapping this up, don't ever sacrifice who you are for anything. Who you are and your standard and your code as a man, that's the prize. None of those other things. And the goal is to get those other things without sacrificing who you are, right? So when it comes to money, if I got to become somebody different in order to make $1 million, then I don't want that $1 million. I want me first, right? So I'm going to be me. And if I can make half of that money being me, then I'll take half of that money then. And that's it. To me, that means that's my ceiling at that point. That's as much as I can make. Because if I got to come outside of myself, if I have to sacrifice an inch of who I am to get more than that, then I can't get that. That's not even a fucking option, right? When it comes to a woman, if I got to become something else, if I got to tone my fucking language down, if I got to dress a different way, if I have to tolerate your disrespect in order to get you, then I don't want you. Because the main thing I want is me. And that's what I'm looking for in a woman. I'm looking for me. I'm looking for a woman that reflects me as I am. So she's not even an option at that point. But I could go on and on about this. That's the essence of game, right? The essence of game is understanding that you're the prize, understanding that who you are and your code and your identity is where it's at. And nothing needs to ever everything needs to be filtered through that. And recognizing when things do and do not fit into your life based off of that. And if you got to be anything less than who you are in order to get that thing, like I said, whether that's pussy, money, a job, the respect of others, friendships, fame, then you can't get that thing. And that's game.